Hi, this is Doug Sadler on LiveConcerts.com. You're joining Conversations With, where our guests today are some of the members of Dream Theater. Joining me here in the House of Blues of Sunset Strip is James Labrie, lead singer.
Hello.
Mike Portnoy, drummer.
Hello.
And Derek Shernian, keyboard. Missing in action are John Petrucci and John Wong.
Myung.
They're probably at Universal Studios or
enjoying the Southern California day. So we've got a lot of questions for you guys because you have an extensive fan base, and just wanted to start off with one, which is somewhat.
That's all you got.
Only just one. We're starting
Just one.
One question only, so it's going to be a big one.
and it has to be about Derek's shoes, otherwise we won't answer it.
Yeah, right.
You know, and actually now that we're on the internet with a video simulcast, you might want to take advantage of the opportunity to see Derek's.
My favorite pair of 10 pair.
He's got.
Maybe later we could do another segment just on my
Footwear.
shoe footwear.
So how does your footwear impact your playing? I mean, can you chart the evolution of the band through your footwear?
Doesn't it give
Absolutely. One day, I just used to dress normal like any guy on the street. Then one day, I must have ate something weird. I woke up the next day and it was like
Everything
Wardrobe City.
Well, so the first one I wanted to start with was Anthony Green from Glendale. Just wants to say that feels you guys have achieved the perfect mix of lyrics and to bring out life's emotions. And his question is basically how your songwriting evolves. Is it through group experience, or is it sort of the individual songwriters bringing to the table their own experience?
Well, he mentions lyrics, and in the case of lyrics with us, it's individual perspective. When we write the music, we do it collectively, bouncing ideas off of each other. So that's very much a group effort, but the lyrics are individual voices, and everybody goes off and will, have a couple of different songs per album to write their own lyrics to. So it's different in each one of those cases.
So it depends on the individual moment.
Yeah, whoever grabs the song has freedom to do what they want with the lyrics.
Well, there's another question from Greg Owens in Scranton who asks, when another band member brings in a song you may not like, how do you handle helping in the writing and working on such a song? If, for instance, something comes up and it's like...
Well, first you take your fingers and hold them to your nose and go like this. It stinks. No, basically, if someone comes in with an idea and, it's workable, then everyone will, tweak it. No one's shy to critique someone's riff. Like, if it's weak, people...
It's put on the table relatively quickly.
Totally.
And then even when the song is completed, if the song doesn't cut it, we just won't use it. I mean, there's a good 5 or 6 songs that didn't make the last album of ours. Not because they weren't good, but they just weren't as good as what did make the album. So
now, in the course of within the scope of Dream Theater, pretty much everyone brings some songs to the table, correct?
Like I said, I mean, we do it more collectively. Maybe 1 or 2 songs per album will be more from one person's, input. But for the most part, 85-90% of our material is written, collectively. So.
But within the liner notes, when a song's credited, is that primarily lyrics?
Yeah.
Then?
Yes. Yeah.
And as far as the evolution of that vibe, I mean, and I wanted to get into the Dream Theater sound. There have been a lot of questions about where you guys are headed. Perhaps you could define the term progressive rock, which seems to be a difficult term to really pin down. But there are comments about that Falling Into Infinity, your latest release, has got a slightly more commercial feel. And is that a conscious movement by the band, or are you just, where are you with that?
Well, I think first and foremost, the biggest misconception with Dream Theater is that people tend to look at us as progressive, and they think that's where it begins and ends. And I think it's really, that's incorrect. I think there's more elements involved. And more styles of music involved. I mean, when someone asks me how do you describe Dream Theater, I'll say, first and foremost, we're a hard rock band. Now, people might be turned off by that, but I mean, I think it's a rock band. It's not just what some people might view as progressive, being very, self-indulgent and very technical and complex. Even though that is part of Dream Theater, I think the core of Dream Theater is it's very raw and very energetic music, and it has elements of progressiveness, classical and jazz, and even the pop feel, which you just were mentioning there with Falling Into Infinity.
So, but was there a conscious embracing of something, a bit more of a pop element?
I mean,
with
we've
Falling Into
always
Infinity?
wanted to go in those directions and experiment with it. I mean, we love U2 and Peter Gabriel just as much as we love progressive music or heavy music. And I think that style has always been a part of our sound. If you look at any one of our albums, there's always a couple songs that are in that direction. I think we just did it the best on this album, so maybe it's most evident. Or maybe because we produced each song differently, maybe it made those songs stand out a little bit different from the rest. But, I mean, every one of our albums, we try to have that balance between progressive music, heavy music, and pop music. Those are the three biggest elements, and I don't think we could ever be called any one of those three only. It's a balance of the three that make up Dream Theater.
Now, you mentioned the approach to Falling Into Infinity as being song by song, and I'm wondering, looking back on that approach, how you feel about how that helped or crystallized moments within the album.
I think what really set this album aside from the previous albums was working with the producer Kevin Shirley. He more or less he wanted to go with a live recording, capturing the band in one room all at once and going from beginning to end of the song, so it could get more of the same situation or the environment that we display on stage every night when we play out live. He wanted to capture that. So that was completely different because previously we had recorded, either Mike would go in and he'd do all his tracks, and then it would be a matter of, getting the other instruments on there, and then the vocals one by one, and each guy in there individually, and the other guys are at home, whatever, playing tennis or golf. So this time we were all within the studio from beginning to end, interacting, coming up with ideas, changing things throughout the course of the recording. And it was really cool. It was actually, with me personally, it was the first time that I felt that we actually had a producer that was really doing, acting as a director, throughout, which was really, it was very much different.
Pushing you along to experiment in certain ways?
Yeah, we were experimenting. I mean, a lot of the majority of the music was already set in stone, but there were still some things that changed throughout, the recording that we experimented with.
As far as that process and approaching that, was it a bit like getting back to almost a rehearsal? I mean, as far as bringing in the live feel and the improvisatory feel that you've worked with in the past, and you also introduced new instruments. So is there?
Well, it's weird because when we were doing the demos for the album, we would, in some of the cases, write, in the studio, in our own studio, and some of the songs, when we demoed them, we went instrument by instrument and didn't even play them live. So when we went in to do the album, Kevin wanted us to play live, and a song like Anna Lee, when we went in to do it for the album, it was our first time actually playing it as a band, because when we wrote it and did it as a demo, we sort of just pieced it together on tape. So, it was interesting because Kevin really did want us to have that rehearsal sort of vibe, and tried to capture that. Plus, I think another important thing was that every song has a different personality. You can't record a song like Hollow Years with big heavy metal guitars and big double bass drums. And on the other hand, you can't record a song like Burning My Soul, which is a really heavy steamroller tune. You can't record that with really, light, dynamic acoustic guitars. We suited the production towards the personality of each song. And in the past, we would try doing, more commercial songs with heavy production, and we would try to do, they always just sounded the same from top to bottom.
As far as how that individual song approach affects the overall album, I mean, taken together as a whole, does it feel like distinct edges, or does it still feel like that?
It gives the album much more dynamics. Absolutely. I mean, I think, with this album, if I go back and you A/B the albums, I think sonically this is one of the better sounding albums, but also it has that peaks and valley kind of feel to it, where it lets you breathe and take a step back and kind of absorb or take in what you've just listened to, and then it has the climactic parts throughout it as well. Because
we recorded them all different, I think that may have threw some of the fans for a loop as well. Something like Anna Lee or Anna Lee or Hollow Years, people were like, wow, what are they trying to do here? But then I think when they see us live, now suddenly it makes a lot more sense, because you can't do all that experimenting live with different sounds. So suddenly when you see us live and you hear all of these songs performed on stage, in a live setting, it really translates as Dream Theater. And I think that's what's really made the fans appreciate the new material a little bit more, to see it, performed live.
Now you've been quoted as talking about New Millennium as being specifically sort of about the band's experience, and particularly paralleling the experience of Falling into Infinity with Images of Words.
Right.
And can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, one of the toughest obstacles for this band is the music industry and the business. Obviously, what we do is, very against the grain. It's not, the flavor of the month thing. So it's hard for us to get the concentration that we require to, build the band's career. In any case, it's created obstacles for us through the years, and we had some tough times leading up to Images and Words with member changes. It was James's first album with us, and we changed record companies, and we changed managers and lawyers and all that stuff. And all that was building up to the recording and release of Images and Words. We went through a very similar situation building up to this album. It was our first real album with Derek, so we had a new member. We changed managements, we changed lawyers, and there were lots of changes at the record company, so it was a very similar situation.
So when you get away from all that sort of the noise, the business,
Unfortunately, you can't get away from it.
So
We've been trying to get away from it for years,
it
but it just sucks you back in.
It follows you even into the recording studio?
It follows you everywhere.
Yeah.
Follows us on
Especially in the
tour,
recording
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part about being in the band.
So kind of going back to a question that was asked earlier, as far as how does that lifestyle impact what you're writing about? Do you find those frustrations coming out?
Totally. I mean, if you look at my 3 lyrics, we were talking about before about lyrics being the individual's expression. My 3 lyrics on this album, which are Burning My Soul, New Millennium, and Just Let Me Breathe, all 3 of them are specifically about the frustrations that we or I went through the past couple of years dealing with these obstacles. It's incredibly frustrating. So
Just Let Me Breathe is a apt title.
yeah.
You might find with other lyrics where it touches upon maybe what somebody is going through personally, or something that they've read, like literature that they've read that's influenced them, or something they've seen, media exposure.
Are there any influences for you personally that have, in that realm, literature, media, or anything that?
Well, Anna Lee was just from an article that I'd read, and it was on incest, and it moved me. This article, I just felt really disgusted.
The story about Woody Allen, right?
Yeah. I sent it to Woody. He sent it back with a big.
Soon you was changed to Anna Lee.
Yeah, right.
Those more syllables flowed better.
But definitely Mike on this album definitely showed the frustration we go through in the industry, and I think some of the other lyrics touch on what maybe somebody's going through in a personal sense.
So what's it like to join a group that's already got all this stuff going on?
It's awesome. It's like at first it was like overwhelming at first, but it's kind of like, I guess, driving a fast car for the first time. And at first, it's kind of squirrely, but then after a while, you get in a flow in it, and it's very cool. It's great.
What kind of car would that be?
Oh, Ferrari, something like that. No,
What do you got parked outside, Derek?
Just my new Mercedes, thank you. It's actually a couple years old. No, these guys are great.
There's several kind of specific, detailed questions. One is, I don't know how specific this is, but when you listen to the radio or watch what this person calls empty TV, and this is Huss Halmstead or Andreas, it's hard to tell. What do you think about the state of music in general?
I think it sucks.
Yeah, so that's sort of.
You want to talk about videos? I think the videos are completely against what Dream Theater is about and what a lot of bands are about. I'm just personally, I don't want to speak on behalf of the band, but personally, the video industry, it's just so wrong, I think, for music. It's usually somebody coming in, being the director or whatever, and it's his interpretation of the music, which in most cases is wrong. And I think that the real shame of it is that the videos, you have people out there, musicians that are trying to be actors and doing these character roles that most most look very cheap, and it's very contrived, which has nothing to do with music. And I just think that we've done videos, and for the most part, they haven't done us any good, except for the one that was the cheapest video and the fastest one done was Pull Me Under, and the only reason that one got a lot of airplay was just because the song was very popular at that time. But you talk to a lot of bands out there. A lot of bands are spending a lot of money on videos that never get aired. So it's a very tough part of the industry to try and conquer.
There's a question about will U.S. fans ever get to see any post-live videos?
Hopefully not.
Well, I'll tell you what. If we ever do any more videos, I hope that it's, I hope that it is a live shot of the band.
Did you say post-lie?
Well, it's actually L-I-E, yeah.
Yeah, because we did two videos since Lie. We did Silent Man and Hollow Years.
Yeah, that's
neither of which got any play in America, of course. In fact, neither of them were even budgeted in America. It was all done in Europe because that's the only place that there's a demand for our videos. But in answer to your question, those videos probably will get seen because I think we're planning on having another home video out by the end of the year, and we're going to shoot a couple shows in Europe next month. Hopefully, if all the plans work out the way they're supposed to, and those will be included on the next home video. But basically, that's the only place you can get to see not only ours but a lot of great bands' videos these days. Just because MTV is too busy playing Beavis and Butthead and Singled Out, so
right.
Whatever
flavor is hitting.
In answer to your original question, though, about if there are any bands out there that we like or the current state of the music industry, forget about the industry itself. In terms of creatively, I think there are a lot of great bands out there, but it's unfortunate because they're all getting buried. There's a lot of bands that I really like, but they're all on smaller labels and they're not very well known. I sort of have to go digging for them and read about them on the internet and stuff. But the major labels are too busy with Spice Girls and Prodigy and stuff that they don't give these great young new bands the exposure that they deserve. Yeah. So there are some great bands out there. It's just you got to really fish for them. The only band that's huge.
Want to give us a few tips?
We're still trying to find out ourselves. Well, there's a band that I love called Spock's Beard, on a small label actually, and a band that I love, but they're not underground, is Radiohead. I think they're really good, but I don't know.
Well, let's get it back to the music a little bit because we need to wrap this up. As far as tonight's show, where do you go from here? What's the? I've been emailed a million questions from Australia to Portugal to Brazil, wanting to know Dream Theater's touring plans. Can you give us a quick update?
We'll finish in the States around the 25th of May, and then we're going to Europe to do a few weeks of festival. Doing a couple shows with Van Halen and that, which will be exciting for us.
Black Sabbath,
yeah.
There's a Deep Purple.
And Deep Purple, yeah. Then we're coming back in August, and throughout August we're touring the States and Canada with Deep Purple and ELP. And then we're hoping, actually, it's not confirmed at this point, but I think it'll pretty well happen, is that we'll be going to South America and probably finishing this tour for Falling Into Infinity. In South America.
Do you know any rough dates on that?
September.
It'd be September, but it'd probably be Brazil, Argentina, Chile.
What about Japan?
We did it in January.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you mentioned a couple other areas that we'd love to get to. Portugal. We did Spain for the first time just a month ago. And it'd be great to get to Portugal and to get to Australia and New Zealand. That'd be amazing.
Australia, there must be some sort of campaign going on the internet because they hit the hell out of our website. Yeah. And I get emails. I get like 10 emails a day from Australia.
We want to go there.
And I did a drum clinic tour down there a couple of years ago. It was great. But basically, our agent books us according to record sales or radio play. And we can only go to so many places, within the span of a year. And don't email us or our website, because if it's up to us, we would be there. So if you want to do a campaign, email our record company.
Or email your domestic.
Or our
company.
Agency, the agency.
Yeah.
Emailing us does us no good. We want to play everywhere. It's a matter of our booking agents and our label being aware of it. So.
We are opening new markets. There's definitely. Even when we're doing this festival, we're going into Hungary and, where else, guys?
Greece.
Is it Greece? Yeah.
Doing a few new markets next month in
Yeah.
Europe.
So in the midst of all of this, I mean, all of the music business are you guys still having fun?
I'm having a blast.
Derek's having fun.
I'm the single one though.
Yeah, we all have our families.
Yeah, it all stems from being single.
Well, let me tell you something. The 2 hours on stage every night are great.
Yeah.
We love that, for sure.
And what about the 2, 3, 4, 5 hours after that?
No, the other 22.
How's that?
It's the other 22 hours.
I have fun most of the time, so I'll speak for myself.
All right. Well, Dream Theater's going to be playing live on live.
Don't
concerts.
get us wrong. We're not a bunch of miserable fucks here. We're having a good time.
It's only the 2 hours on stage. It's only the 2.
Derek doing Nixon. All right. Well, Dream Theater's going to be playing on liveconcerts.com tonight at 10 p.m. So you can listen and watch on the web. Right now, we're gonna talk to take a 5-minute break and talk to Mike Portnoy about a little eclectic experiment he just underwent called Liquid Tension Experiment with Tony Levin and Jordan Rudess and John Petrucci, also of Dream Theater, who is sunning himself somewhere as we speak.
He's walking around with
Sunning his hairy body.
So do you guys want to give us a little preview of the set list tonight, what people could expect to hear tonight?
We'll put it this way. Between tonight and tomorrow, there'll be 2 completely different set lists.
Tonight's mostly Prodigy, and tomorrow night's Spice Girls.
Yeah. I think tonight's set is going to be geared towards being different from our last visit here in November.
Great.
And then tomorrow we'll do everything else.
Well, I want to thank all you guys for joining us and look forward to the show tonight.
Cool.
This is Doug Sadler. You've been listening to Conversations With on liveconcerts.com. Stay with us. We'll be taking about a 5-minute break, and we'll be back with Mike Portnoy to discuss Liquid Tension Experiment on liveconcerts.com. The show again tonight, 10 o'clock Pacific time. Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh.